Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let me get the voicemails. Let me get into our...
Before we go into voicemails, we were talking fences.
Yeah.
On the
Fence Talk with Tom and Dan.
Yeah.
Well, we are the industry leader on privacy fence talk. What kind of fence do you need? What kind of fence do you want?
We need a fence sponsor.
I feel
reached out to
confident.
one.
I think
Nothing.
Tom
Nothing.
may agree with this. He may not. He may want to distance himself from what I'm about to say. But there isn't any topic that is launched on any other radio show on this station that can handle every topic better than us.
All right.
I think
Hot
we
take.
we are sort of like the Swiss Army knife of shows. We can handle any topic. And here's another thing. We'll handle it with skill. We'll handle it with grace and much to do about nothing. That's what I'll say.
So you know how there's like rules about how high you could have your fence? Like you can't just build a 20-foot tall fence in your
No,
backyard.
you can't. Plus, it'd be
Which-
very expensive. 20 feet fence.
Yeah. Which
How many sections is that?
Code enforcement will get you good.
code enforcement. No, it seems ridiculous.
20
because
feet would be obnoxious.
I-
Around your house?
Not
How would
around.
I even see into your house?
Well, not around,
What?
like-
Talk about an eyesore. And unless you're talking chain link, 20 feet chain link that's just going to make your house look like a Universal Studios
Like-
Halloween Horror Nights house.
I
Or
would
prison.
prefer a
Me too.
15-foot fence in my backyard. You know, like
Why
just you
you
can
take
block
it
it
down?
out.
Go
or-
with 20. Go with
or
what you
20 or
originally
whatever,
said.
you know.
Speak from your core.
Like, and I think a lot of people would, so you don't have to see your neighbors' houses or whatever. I'm currently trying to grow my all the plants and trees in my backyard to be a high.
I'm gonna have to
green
start doing
berry.
that too.
Well, that's
I got
because-
hosed down in my backyard yesterday by my neighbor.
Because
What
both
do
of
you
you
mean?
guys enjoy being nude in your backyard.
That's
both
correct.
you and
That's
Samantha.
why we need a fortress.
You both like to get out there and bare your breasts to the sky.
For me, it has nothing to do with privacy. It's more to do with I don't want to see my neighbors' houses. It's just like fancier
Well, I mean, you
to
do live
be
in
blocked
sort
off.
of like you are the nicest house in the neighborhood.
So this leads me to the opposite of this, which we were driving. And
I wanted to go back to Samantha getting hosed down, but we'll continue.
Yeah. Well, they'll write that.
Write that down. Write down Samantha hosed down.
But so we're driving to Discovery Cove yesterday. I'll tell you the whole story on the BDM show. But
What do you discover at Discovery Cove?
disgusting tours,
Wow.
abusing animals.
I knew-
Anyway,
I
I'll
knew
tell
your
you.
answer would be
What
great.
a discovery.
I knew your answer would be great.
I'll tell you. I'll tell
I
you
know.
the whole story.
I know you'll
But
tell
anyway, so there's a neighborhood around the SeaWorld area.
Yeah.
And my wife knows this because she's in
Dolphinville,
real
USA.
estate. Where there's this neighborhood that doesn't allow any fencing. And my
Oh,
wife.
wow.
and
Yeah, it's Dixie Chick Land.
So
No
they're
fences. Wasn't that one of their albums? No fences.
they.
You're not a Dixie Chick fan?
I listened to some back in the day, but I don't know the
Oh
name
no,
of
it
the
was
albums.
wide open fences. Wide open fences.
It's wide open space.
Yeah, wide open spaces.
So my wife, she tells me, she's like, I was I had a client look at a house in this neighborhood.
Was it
one
a
time.
whale? Was
Yeah.
it a real? She sold a house to a whale.
No, it's just a regular floor. It's not even like a, you know how like they have golden oaks in Disney World or whatever, like
Yeah,
super.
like an upscale super community.
Yeah, this is not even on any sort of theme park property or anything like that. It's just a regular old Florida houses. And I looked around. I'm like, you're right. There's no fences here. She's like, the HOA or whatever.
Oh, they want an open floor plan.
It's like there's no.
Hold on.
You're not allowed to put up a fence. And I'm like,
What
that's
about,
weird.
I don't
what
like that.
about
Weird, right?
What about and dogs hate this company, but what about invisible fence?
Ooh.
Well, you're allowed to put up bushes, like in some people.
Bushes everywhere.
Nature's fence.
Well, some people had like bush fences, and it served
My wife
the same,
has a bush
it
fence.
served the same purpose. But I was like, that's kind of weird. Where
Shrub.
you would make that a mandate?
Yeah, I wonder why.
No fences, only shrubs here, sir.
Because it's not really that visually unappealing. Because now we're so used to it that fencing is not like, oh God, the
Certain
fences,
neighborhoods will only allow you to have certain fences.
I agree with
like
that.
the white vinyl
I
fence.
do
Yeah.
like it when there's some sort of continuity between fences. Like right now, on
That's what
your-
EJ's problem. Remember that he couldn't get like a standard fence. He had to get whatever.
I support that because I like the way it looks. Like on your street, because you guys live in a very independent land where you can make
Yeah,
any
yeah.
choice.
No HOA,
There's
yeah.
a bunch of different. Like you've got the
Oh,
newest this neighbor, he's got the aggressive sideways vertical fencing.
Yeah, that
Most
nice one.
people have the up and down horizontal, just the old horizontal daddy.
yeah, the old mold.
Mold fence.
one
Old
plank.
fence, mold fence,
Yeah, the holes in
horizontal.
it.
And the horizontal, they got it stained like a rich burgundy, and it doesn't match anything else. And it's just, your whole street looks like a patchwork quilt.
But it's like, what's the advantage to not letting the homeowners build a fence? It's just aesthetically more pleasing.
Better for cats. Better for cats. Cats love it. They go anywhere they want. Poop anywhere they want.
Driving through the neighborhood and me looking, it doesn't look better than any other. You know what I'm saying?
Can I give you one actual
It's not
plus?
like, oh, this looks nice. With
Let
no
me give
fencing.
you
It's
one
weird.
actual plus. You remember my old house, the little one.
Yeah.
That fence was falling down. No falling down fences. If you say no fences, then you have no tiny falling down fences. I had a fence that is wobbly.
Yeah.
And there was no integrity to it standing up straight. Like every side of it was bendy. It looked like an old saw.
Well, that's where the HOA comes in, where
Right.
you're not allowed to have a fence in disrepair. I mean, some HOAs won't even let you have any sort of brown spots in your yard. They'll send you letters if you have like any sort of
yellow
grass
spots where your Great Dane has emptied his gallon-sized bladder onto your sods.
And they dictate how high your grass can be.
Yeah. They get
there's some
serious.
hardcore ones.
I mean, that's you don't want to burn it. Don't keep that blade too low. You'll burn your grass.
So just make it where, like, if it's just for aesthetic reasons, make it so you can only get the fancy vinyl fencing or something. But this is like no fencing, none at all. Not even the fancy one, not like wrought iron.
And that's near SeaWorld.
Yes, near SeaWorld. I have no idea
Which
why.
isn't the fanciest of areas.
No.
I'm telling you.
Even SeaWorld is not fancy.
These are just old Florida houses. These are not McMansions. There's nothing special to this neighborhood. It's just no fences allowed. And it's weird. I've never
wonder
heard
if
of
it's
it.
because they ran the houses to the bare, like literally the bare end of the property line. You know what I mean? Like there's no room for even like you put in
I
a
don't know,
fence.
yeah.
Maybe they're trying to dodge a headache in that if we do fences here, people are going to be mad because we are real tight on these property lines.
It could be some weird reason like that. I have no idea. It seems like a deterrent if you wanted to move in there, because I feel like most people would like a fence, at least in their backyard. I agree. I don't like the fences in the front yard, and this is a Miami thing too. Like people in Miami started running their fences all the way to the street. Like you got a front yard fence.
Well, you run that's for safety.
But front yard fences are for nice, huge
It's to keep
estates.
the lowriders out of your
Well,
grass, right? I mean, because people park everywhere, right? That's why they fenced it in, to kind of like commandeer their area, because people in Miami
Parking in the grass.
Yeah, they take
Yeah.
a little more, right?
Well, it's a thing. You park in the grass in Miami, people's front yards. You never do that
Well,
here.
you started telling me that. Like, I remember when I first met you, you are a Miami man.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, just park in the grass. I'm like, what? I remember
Yeah.
screaming. I'm like, park in your grass? I'll kill your grass. You're like, it's fine.
Like, my wife parked in her old Foot Locker boss's front yard one time, and then he's like, what the hell are you doing? And
Yeah.
then she's like, I'm just parking. And she's like, you
get
can't
out of
park,
my grass,
You
you
can't park in my
piece
front
of
yard.
ass.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Oh,
But
my
no, but
dad
that's what
would've
we did in Miami.
killed
We
them.
parked in people's
My
front yards.
dad, if you pulled up and parked in my dad's grass, he would walk out with an asp and break all the windows in your car.
But we realized it's because in Miami, it's basically a tropical environment, so grass grows easily. You don't need sprinklers.
It's just
or,
a
you know,
thing.
So
and you park on the streets, you're parking on the edge of people's driveways and grass. Yeah, it's a thing.
we don't care about grass in Miami as much as you do up here because it's harder to come by, I guess. But anyway, the no fencing thing is bizarre to me.
What size fence? I'm an 8 man. I'm an 8-foot fence man. How about you?
8?
I'm
I mean,
an
8
8.
is not a standard. I'm a stand. You know, I have
10?
the standard 6 foot
6 too
wood
small.
fence.
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta go 8.
the 8. Hold on, who's got 8?
My dad only had 8 on the one portion that covered the top of his camper.
That's because he had
The
to
rest of it
hide
was
his camper.
standard 6 foot.
Yeah.
It was illegal what he did, and they tried to put a lien on our house.
It looks like the main reason why certain neighborhoods don't allow it is says that quite frequently fences can create an eyesore because they are sometimes expensive to maintain, and
Yeah,
rather than
that's
give
what I said.
citations out all the
Yeah.
time, they're just like, yeah, no fences.
Yeah, no
Well, why
fences,
not
no mold.
Well, why not just make it like if you're going to put up a fence, it's got to be a fancy vinyl.
But
you
they
know,
know
like,
people aren't going to do that.
Well, other EJ had the same thing. Like he couldn't put up a regular fence; he had to put up a vinyl,
Yeah.
expensive ass fence. So like other HOAs have that, so it's not like some unheard of thing. Like saying no fence at all to me is unheard of.
Is there anything in your neighborhood
Weird.
you're not allowed to have?
No, I don't have an HOA. I can
Yeah,
do
so
anything.
I think I'm not allowed to paint my house. I'm not allowed to paint my door.
Yeah, you can't have like commercial.
I'm supposed to
trucks and-
ask before I do.
Yeah.
But my HOA doesn't do nothing. There's also not supposed to be street parking. Everybody parks on the street.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Nobody follows any rules in my
It
neighborhood.
depends on who's enforcing it, right? It's like they got
Seemingly no one, but
Yeah,
I'm paying
yeah.
somebody to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
nothing.
You should
that's
talk to that
ridiculous.
person then. And say and bring up your concerns. Maybe you don't have to pay.
I don't even know how to contact them.
Oh yeah, and they don't
They
list
just
it.
take
Oh,
my
wow.
monies and that's it.
Yeah, see, mine they contact us. They're like, "You're late. Where's your money?
No.
We're doing this thing. We're doing this grass. We're doing these flowers." I'm like, "Oh my god,
Oh yeah,
slow
well,
down."
You have the extreme
It's too
version
much.
of that. Yeah, yeah.
It's
but
too
it's
much.
it's what you signed up for.
I'm
You live
not
in a
at all-
pristine neighborhood. You don't
Yeah.
have boats parked in garbage trucks.
And they get rid of cars, man. We had
Yeah.
one. We had a yellow work truck behind my house, and I swear, and it was not my wife this time. And I swear to God, 2 days later, that thing was gone.
Yeah,
They slapped some stickers on it. Next thing you know, they're towing it out of here.
I
Man.
mean, we
They
put up
have-
red curtains, and
They-
they gave us a notice like, "Hey, you red curtains."
Yeah, it is.
It's a white only.
It's a real thing. What kind of?
I know,
fe-
like, we
you're-
know.
You got a vinyl fence.
Yes.
You got a standard. I like yours though. Your fence is what I grew up on. A standard yellow brown vertical privacy fence.
Yeah, but it's fallen to disrepair, and
How
Right.
so? Not like mine. Mine, it's not wobbly like mine, falling
Oh, yeah.
down.
I
You're
mean-
not using 4x4s to push up the side of it.
no,
I used to do that.
I'm not there yet, but slats have fallen off. There's basically the entire bottom is like bowed out, and it has like green mildew or some sort of mold on there.
Put a light layer of bleach on that.
And then I tried to pressure wash it, which just pressure washed all the stain that I had a handyman do.
You pressure wash the stain off.
Yeah. So then it was just lines, and then I was
Oh,
like,
oh, yeah.
So
The lines look bad. Yeah.
So once I started, then I stopped. So then it's like mold, and then lines.
let the let the mildew cover the stains.
I've been thinking about just putting like
Vines,
vines.
yeah.
Vines. I was just gonna plant a
Get
bunch
some
of
ivory on
now
pothos.
there is
let it
one
go
more
crazy.
option you can do, but it's if you really want to make your house look terrible.
Yeah.
You could call a friend, an artist friend, and have them come out and do a wacky mural on the inside of
Oh,
graffiti
man.
mural.
I love a good graffiti mural on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
inside of any average dad's pool
Yeah.
enclosure. I love a wacky mural.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
would say that Seth Petrozelli has a wacky mural. Little too old for it to have.
Yeah,
that.
he
It's a little,
Yeah.
It's kind of like neon in your living room. I did that in my 20s. I'm in my 40s now. Can't do that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a younger person's idea of fancy.
Yeah.
You get an
You get the
artist to
same
come
guy
give
that
you a
painted
mural.
Tijuana Flats
Yeah,
to come in and paint walk out with your guac out on your fence. And then you think that between that, a cooler full of beer, and your pool, that you're going to be living the swingers lifestyle. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the way.
I wonder who's got the most strict HOA in. I mean, Baldwin's got to be pretty close, but with a Celebration or something.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
And Golden Oaks.
But
Yeah,
not
Golden Oaks for sure.
non like those kind of like a
Windermere.
like a regular because I thought like if you lived in this community near SeaWorld in like some 3-2 flat roof Florida house, right? You're nothing special, and then you have an HOA saying, well, no, I'm just saying like no, the Golden Oaks is gonna and like Baldwin Park.
Yeah.
They, like when you come here, this place is fancy. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like and you go into Golden Oaks, there's mansions, and you go into Celebration, it's all everything looks
Clean.
I'm
and-
sure
Stafford
Winter
Wise-
Park's pretty strict too.
Winter Park.
Yeah.
You're talking about $1 million houses, but it's like
You look at like Golden Oak or Celebration, there's no Orlando weekly boxes that some bum is taking a deuce in.
yeah.
You know, like sitting sideways or pushed over.
But if you had just had like a standard, regular 3-2 Florida houses built in the 70s, and then you had a crazy strict HOA, as weird. You know, like so much so that like, you know, maybe it's just the fence thing in this place and it's nothing else. Like, you know, because I've heard that some people can't park their own work vehicles. Like if they work for a plumbing company, you know, you can't park in front of your house. You have to park it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
we have that.
which is kind of ridiculous because like that's my job. Like I work for a plumbing company. It's my truck.
Zach
and
from
I
Ohio.
can't park here.
Yeah, Zach from Ohio called in a while ago and said that a lot of his friends don't like it when he parks his plumbing truck in front of their houses. And I think I got to agree. I think I got to agree with him. I don't want the Brownies turd wrangling truck in front of my house if you're coming over for Thanksgiving dinner. Put it in the back.
Well, there's no place to park in the back.
Or in my house there is. Yeah, in my house, put it in
the
the back. Don't put it in the front.
But it's like if you work for a plumbing company and then you own the house, you're like, this is my job. I bought this house and I can't.
And this is my vehicle.
They're like, no, you can't. Like I don't want to look at your company.
I like that.
It's kind of an insult. To like that
it's
person,
absolutely an insult. But what I really like is there is a sweet spot where the person has to drive their work truck home. They have no other option, and they can only park in the front. And in those cases, they get the worst thing I've ever seen, and there is a guy in my neighborhood that has to do this every day. Hundreds of times I've seen him do it. He has to go out to his van, go in the back, unfurl a gray, huge cover, and cover his entire truck with a gray cover so you don't see the fact that he's a turd wrangler. You don't see the fact that he's a tileman. It is ridiculous. I feel bad for him. Like, that in that case, as much as I understand that it's unsightly, whatever. It's also reality, and the guy shouldn't be shackled to having putting on a cover over his van 1,000 times in order to make money. That's insane.
Well, it's also
let him do it on Saturdays and Sundays.
But it's super uppity, but for even an HOA to be like, we do not like work vehicles parked in, even if you that's your job.
No working here.
Yeah. It's like, well, we all work, so what the hell? You're saying that like you don't want to like unless I work for any other company besides.
Okay, I'll give you one.
A blue collar job that you don't want to see it.
I'll give you one.
What
You'll remember this in my old neighborhood in Deltona when I lived off of Montecito. You'd be driving down Montecito and you'd be taking a left into it wasn't a subdivision, it was Deltona, if you want to call Deltona a subdivision. You'd turn left and there was a mansion there, like a McMansion. No different than the same Miranda home I had, just, more bedrooms, but still the same Chinese drywall and, and it was the dude, I think it was John, Big John from the Pink Pony. And he had an enormous, bright, fluorescent pink Escalade that had girls with their tees out and airbrush and it was one of those things that it fit in Deltona. It was fine, but I could
there's
see,
no HOA in Deltona.
But I could see here where people, no matter
they don't even know what it stands for.
Even if it were parked out back, I could see if you lived in Baldwin, if you were Big John from the manager of the Pink Pony in Daytona Beach, and you had a ginormous slightly trashy.
Well, that's different. Yeah. I can understand the argument. We don't want the giant Pink Pony wagon,
or what about
with airbrush, or with the pictures of the strippers on there.
Or what about
the Boston lobster feast with the big lobster?
I think that's cool.
You're in on that
I think that's cool. What about the one that says if it's brown, flush it down? It's got brownies. And then it's got the turd emoji.
I'm fine with it. I don't care. I don't give a damn.
I don't want that.
Okay.
I don't want people thinking that I'm taking enormous.
Remember the Love Boutique had a giant Cupid in a diaper? You remember that?
I
would drive around town.
I do remember that.
I don't know if that place is still open.
No, I don't think it is.
You know what I don't like? I don't like when cops live in your neighborhood because
they take their squad car home and it slows me down.
Well, every time there was a cop that lived next to me in Deltona. And he would be parked in his driveway.
Yeah. Still have his hood up, cooling those engines.
Every time I'm driving and I see it, I'm like, oh, it's getting bigger. So I'm like, cop.
Yeah.
And so it scares me every time. But I'm just like, oh, he's just living there.
I'm afraid of all cops. If I see a cop in a car, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. It was just my upbringing and the way I used to live. I can't not see a cop and just get a little nervous that I'm something.
Of course, you put your joint out.
I have a suspended license. So something I'm doing wrong, or can get in trouble.
100%.
But when cops live in your neighborhood, I guess there's a safety aspect of at least a cop lives here. But for me, it would just make me nervous every time, and it did.
Okay, I have the opposite thought. Okay, follow me with this on cops. I too had a cop or two that lived next to me when I lived in Deltona. I was always on the take of, oh man, these guys must not get paid jack if he lives in the same neighborhood as I am, and he ain't gonna do nothing if I'm getting gunned down. That's I
He's
always
off
went,
duty.
I always went the opposite direction and thought, well, man, I wish he lived in a more important neighborhood because maybe he'd be better at his job. Like, I don't know. I know that's flawed, and I know that's super judgmental, but I was always like, if you're on my street, what good
And also,
are you?
are they going to hassle me like the HOA if I'm breaking a rule and they're a cop?
Yeah, I never
they
thought
don't
that
care.
because normally they're
What the-
worse than we are. You know, like normally they're like, I got all the fireworks and I'm smoking weed. And I'm like, all right, cop.
Well, they're above
Good
the
job.
law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I do agree with that. If you're a cop, you're a little above the law.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You've earned that.
yeah. Like, you could kind of do what you
Drive
want.
a little fast.
You're a cop.
Yeah, slap them around. Yeah, whatever.
Like, I don't
you
think you should be held to the same standards as non-cops.
No.
I get it. I get it.
Get out of jail free pass. Sure.
Let's do some voicemail.
All right. Voicemail messages are easy to leave. Couple ways to do that. 1-844-TOMNDAN. 1-844-TOM-N-DAN. You can leave a voicemail that way. Or you can get our app totally free. All of our shows are on there. You can sign up to be a BDM member. You get OG shows. You get BDM shows. We're back in the swing of events now, which is really cool. We got one in DeLand coming up soon on the 29th?
Yep.
And lots of other ones that we're kind of just like kicking around.
Yeah, Cafe Da Vinci on the 29th. We're going to get there around 8:30. Show starts around 9:30. Truphonic, Little Stranger, free show.
Truphonic's already been tweeting about it, saying they're putting together a hell of a playlist for us, of songs that they want to perform before Little Stranger. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. Let's start with this one. I believe that this... hold on. Turn off my jazz here. I believe that this guy is you, Tom. We found another Tom fan. This guy's... this is exactly like something I would hear from you.
Hi, guys. I got one for y'all. I align with Tom myself, and I think he might agree. What is up with... What's the deal with high fives after free throws? I hate it. They miss it. They high five, and that's awkward. I don't want to high five after I miss it.
It's so you, because they make it, they high five.
agree.
They miss it, they high five. I feel
Don't
you.
high five if you miss.
Yeah, I feel you saying, why are you even high fiving to begin with? Just stand there and shoot the other ball.
I'm glad this gentleman brought this up because I
start
too
calling
am
this
annoyed
guy-
by this.
This guy is Little Tom Van.
Yeah.
Because he's got a tinier voice. Sir, call back with more of your alignments with Tom. More of the things that you guys see eye to eye.
And here's why I'm annoyed by it. Not because they high five every single time, no matter what, if they make it or
Well, they
miss
do.
it.
And they do that weird high five, too, where they kind of
Like-
stand there and they kind of just stretch their arm out and kind of just touch tips with everybody.
Yeah. I feel like this works with if you're in high school sports or even collegiate sports, right? Where they're still trying to instill some sort of
You're still a child
sportsmanship
in some ways,
Yeah,
right? You're an
yeah.
adolescent, for
Yeah.
Christ's sake.
And they're trying to be, tell everybody like, hey, you should support your teammate no matter what after each free
Sure,
throw. It's
but
like
the high five?
but
Just
I'll,
clap and say, nice try.
Well, I think
Right?
clapping looks more awkward, too. You don't just stand there.
but once
Don't
Stare-
clap.
stare at
Don't
him.
clap. If you clap, what are you? You're not in the movies.
Just thumbs down.
Yeah.
what-
no, just stand.
All right.
But once you're Steph Curry or Draymond Green or what,
Yeah.
once you've reached that level where you're a huge 100 millionaire, right,
Yeah.
with the multiple
Steph
championships, like one of the best of all time or whatever, and I feel like if you miss, you don't need the positive reinforcement of your teammates like giving you the little the low tip touch or high five or whatever. Just I'll try again.
Unfortunately
you're
for
a
you,
grown 100 millionaire adult.
you're right. But unfortunately for you, these grown 100 millionaires and all sports are just chock full of so much repetition. Much of little, what do you call them?
Routines.
Routines, but almost like superstitious things, little it's all surrounding mysticism, like I have to put my foot out here. I have to lean forward and tap his hand. I have to tap his hand. I have to look at the thing. I have to spin the ball 3 times, spin it. It has to pop back to me.
Yeah, with free throw shooting.
Like if you look at pitchers, and there's this one pitcher that drives Andrea crazy right now where he'll stand, ball in hand,
It's too much.
hand with ball into glove. He'll go rattle, 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 turn to the left, turn to the right, swivel, pitch. And he does that every time. And it is annoying as hell, but it's his thing.
Yeah.
He's a great pitcher. It's just that's his routine.
I wonder if a lot of it, because you would think that one NBA star would have told his teammates, like, don't give me, like, if I miss, don't high five. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sure they do. I
wonder if it's
we
an NBA.
heard-
I don't know.
I think if we heard these guys talk about their routine and the superstitions that are surrounding all of this, you know, the mysticism that they use. I mean, because I took a whole class on this at UCF where they just, like, in sports especially, and also a lot of these guys are Catholic, a lot of these guys are Latin, a lot of these guys are minorities. Yeah, they're more religious, and they have a lot more, they're a lot more tied to that. They're a lot more into it. Yeah.
But even routine, like with baseball and hitting and like free throws, like you'll see everybody does the same dribble. Like they'll do a two,
ding, ding.
Or like some
Ding,
sort
ding,
of.
ding.
It's all about repetition at that
Yeah.
point. And it's probably, there's some sort of
Trying to relax.
trainer that teaches you that that's important when it comes to shooting free throws is not breaking the repetition of whatever you do.
Yeah, chat room is using the term flow. That's true. I studied that in even my anxiety. You know, like the goal is to try and get into a thing called flow state where you're not even really thinking, but you're executing at the highest form you can.
But does the teammates encouraging you or giving you a high five or like doing the little tip touch low deal?
It would help me.
But
It would not help
But is that part of the repetition?
I think it'd be different for everybody. Like you could
Like
pull
if they didn't do it, what would happen?
I think it could throw you off your game because you're going to think something's wrong, right? If you're standing there and you go dribble, 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 and you go to throw the ball out and you look around to go to touch their hands and they're just standing there, like I said, you might go, oh my God, what's happening?
But what if you agreed upon your teammates? You're like, hey, I don't need any of the.
Oh, well, it's good because that's what you wanted.
But no one's done that. I've never seen an NBA player miss or make a free throw and then their teammates not go up to them and give them a high five or a little tip touch.
I think I would like it if they did, though. Like I like Samantha's idea of them just giving a thumbs down. Like, so
if they miss it, it'd be like, well, that sucked.
Yeah. Like, God, have you ever seen? I bet you this has happened. I bet you it's happened where they're like, come on. Like I bet you, like when the game's on the line,
I've never seen it.
I bet you it has happened. I bet it's got to have happened, dude.
Sam,
I asked this question the other night. What about when a major league umpire? I was like, has there ever been a time when a major league umpire like sneezed or coughed and they thought it was like a strike or a ball or whatever? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Because there's been enough games for that to happen.
Yeah.
So this has to have happened where the guy went to shoot the free throw, he missed it, and one of his teammates is like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's just,
I don't know. They coach that in every basketball game I've ever watched. I've never.
Yeah, because nobody loses their cool in sports.
No, you're right.
What if it could have been the winning shot and they blow it?
Oh yeah, I bet you that's happened before.
I just never seen it. I've never seen the teammates actively make any sort of.
I don't watch it a lot, so I can't really.
Like them being mad or make a reaction,
a
negative reaction,
or one of our baseball boys to chime in on this. But I definitely bet you it's happened. It's just not very often because you're right. It is coached out of you. It's not best practice. It's not a good thing to do.
You know what? And the exact opposite of this, I've seen many times where an NFL kicker misses a kick and their sidelines visibly upset, throwing things, mad.
Well, because he's hated. He's hated. Even if he kicked it, they're like, oh, okay, thank God the nerd did it right.
Yeah. Well, I've seen them celebrate it, especially if it's a long kick.
It's like when you rub your dog's head because he brought the ball back to you.
But they will get visibly mad if he misses it, which is the exact opposite of the
and they go
NBA
poop in his locker, right?
Free throws.
Do they bully him afterwards?
I bet that has to do with because everybody on a team is going to have to do a free throw at one point in time. So I guess maybe that's a mutual respect of like, hey, I won't express my disappointment if you don't. When it comes to me missing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not if everybody on the NFL team had to kick.
So free
I bet
throw
they'd be
is
less
more of an even deal because it's even Steven across. Okay, you're
they all
bringing
have to
up an
do it.
excellent point.
Like for the NFL kick, if everybody had to kick
Oh,
one field
be a
goal,
lot of fat kicks, big fat kicks.
Everybody would probably be less emotional if you miss it. You'd be like, well, I don't want them to be mad if I miss mine.
Imagine if that was how you broke a tie in the NFL. Is you lined everybody up, even the big fat chunguses, and had them kick and see how many go in. And that was the tiebreaker.
You know, it's funny. A lot of those guys, because they've just been on practice fields so much of
They
their
can
life,
throw.
they can do
everything.
Like a lot of those, even the NFL, the linemen can kick a
'cause
field goal because they've tried it. Like,
a lot of these guys got hands. Like I've seen some big boys that can catch.
What I think it was. There's a YouTube video of practice.
You and I talked about this.
Well,
yes.
Who was it? It was a big boy in New England. Who was their biggest lineman at one point? Huge, like he was overly big gut, like less athletic, more gigantic.
I remember you telling me this.
What was his name? The chat room would probably know. But anyway, they
was it Vince Wilfork?
Wilfork, yes. So
thank you, Ghost, for your sports knowledge.
Wilfork, I believe,
big boy.
He was doing a kicking competition, like where he was kicking field goals. And it was amazing how far of a field goal he could
he's
kick.
Flexible
like,
too.
yeah, like,
it's weird.
But he's got the weight behind him too. He kick a damn field goal.
These big boys doing yoga because they got to get down in that crouch position.
Yeah.
So they're more flexible than we are, and you see them doing this, and I'm like, that's just you're defying all. It's just crazy.
And it's all they do is train for this one specific thing that they do. Also, a lot of those guys
there's a
lose
whole
weight after.
New York Times article about high-fiving for free throws. It's pretty interesting.
What is it saying?
And it's saying like old school players are like, I understand why they do it, like why they do it if they make it, but like we never grew up in that mentality when we were playing. But all the new guys, like as they were kids, they were encouraged to do it.
So then they okay. So is it changed like back in the 70s?
So
or
Larry
60s?
Bird thinks it's a participation trophy.
Yeah,
Is that where I'm correct in picking
Isaiah
up?
Thomas.
Oh, he's a curmudgeon. I used to love Isaiah Thomas.
Says,
Detroit
as for
Pistons.
reaching in and providing consolation after a miss, he says, I don't understand that. They reward you now and clap for you when you miss. You get
Hardened
congratulated
Isaiah
when you
Thomas.
miss a free throw. Everybody comes in, they slap your hand and say, hey, or whatever. What are you high-fiving him for?
Isaiah Thomas. He's a little guy, too. Isaiah
that.
Thomas is badass point guard, man. I used to love him on the Pistons.
So we're talking about that was in the 90s. Like they didn't do that in the 90s. In my recollection, it's
I
funny.
don't know. I don't watch enough basketball to.
We should look that up because in this may be what is that Mandela effect where I never remember them not doing that.
It's probably just because you see it so often now.
Yeah. So maybe in the 90s they didn't do like the reach in, congratulate you even with the miss, or like give you support, like hey, no problem, keep
There's a lot of things that
funny.
I like. Do you remember at the end of like
Ed Palabaniskas? I have no idea who that is. Olympic basketball player from Australia. So he says, I would say, don't give me a high five. I don't deserve one.
Yeah, I would too.
I like that guy.
Yeah. Seriously, you guys know me pretty well. If I go to make a free throw, if that was my task and I missed it, then I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm mad. Leave me alone.
So that was all coached into them when they were playing like youth sports. Oh, but again, once you get to the NBA, the highest level, like get that, you just stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're getting paid millions of dollars to do a job. If you do it poorly, you should be able to handle. But
if it's in the realm of the spirit of the game, it's going to continue because they need that flow.
Yeah. No, if it's what
I'm
they're
with
used to, they can't be thrown off. So it's like really, it's probably just a small thing. Everybody's like, we just do it. We always did it. If we don't do it, it's going to throw this guy off for the next throw,
Do you remember back in, you played a little bit of soccer, right?
When I was a little kid, yeah.
Did you didn't play any, like, in middle school and high school, did you play
No.
any
I didn't play any
all the
team
sports I played in middle school and high school, I played soccer in high school. Like, we still did the lineup at the end of the game, and you walk and you high-five the other team. You go and talk to them.
Yes, yeah.
And I noticed at the end of every baseball game, because I'm still I'm crazy. I haven't missed a Braves game since I said I started watching baseball. I watch them all. I'm addicted to it. But they line up at the end of the game, but they line up with their own team. And they high-five everybody that's on their own team. And I think it's like a thing they've always done. And it's always weird to me because I'm like, why are you high-fiving your own team? You should be high-fiving the other team and saying like, hey, good game. Like, but I guess there are so many. There's 40 guys on a roster, right? So I guess you're not playing with them all the time. So there is like some give and take. You're not always in the clubhouse. You're not living together. It's not like real world.
Yeah,
You're a businessman.
Yeah.
So I guess there is something to be said about like we won the game, get together and all high five. I don't know. I don't understand why they do it.
With youth sports and like again collegiate sports, totally get it. But when it gets to the NFL, and I get it.
Do they do any of that in the NFL besides the coaches?
Oh yeah, after the game,
I see they all come
the
to
players. Yeah.
But it's all voluntary, right? Like
It's
if you don't
voluntary,
want to go there,
you could leave. Yeah,
you can. And I loved him for this, but you can. Old Skittles, Marshawn Lynch. You could just go like, I'm only here because I have to be. Like I love that mentality.
Just run off the field.
Yeah, I would. I know for a fact, unless I had my daughter with me or something on the field, I'd be a kicker. I'd go right into the locker room. What am I going out here for? I'm not going to trade jerseys with anybody. I'm like, look, I'm going to go inside, take my shower, and go home.
It does make more sense though, because in the NFL, like, yeah, everybody wants to win. Everybody, like, that's what you get paid to do, and that's going to help you with your own career. But really, it's like, nobody cares what team they're on, and like they're all in it for themselves for the most part. And they're all millionaires in it for the next contract and to make as much money for their own families. So like whatever team they're on, they go after the game's done.
You just make sure the coach sees you. You give them one of those.
Even that is like the coach. They care about how good you are and how it's like
I don't care how good you are being nice to people.
Yeah, no, yeah, it doesn't matter.
And they say they do. When they give you at the end of the year, remember, you can win the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. They don't care about that.
No. Yeah.
Nobody cares about that.
And if you're really good, you could be a complete D-head.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They'll let you pass.
100% true.
They'll give you a pass. You'd be crazy D-head.
Yes.
And
all the massages.
Although there is something to be said about being like a toxic to the locker room type of personality, and you've heard like
Richie Incognito
players that have been like labeled as this guy is horrible for the franchise and the team. Although if they're good enough, they're only labeled that as like as soon as their play becomes like
Dwight
not
Howard.
worth it.
Dwight Howard is a perfect example of that everybody was saying was like toxic to the locker room, and then the guy goes away and he doesn't really do much, does he?
It's weird.
Still a great player, but
is he still playing?
Yeah.
I don't keep up with anything.
I think he's a bit of a bounce around journeyman now, but I think his better days are behind him now.
But you hear the stories of people that are like, and you hear like the accusation that they're not like liked within the organization or whatever, like a Baker Mayfield or a Carson Wentz or whatever. And
I never understood the Carson Wentz one. The Baker Mayfield one looks more apparent. I'm just going on me looking at their face and judging it, right? That's the only knowledge I have of this. But Baker Mayfield, I look at him, I'm like, you would be that guy. Carson Wentz, I look at him and I go, I can't see it.
There's all these rumors.
Oh, yeah.
I know, but like that he's not very liked within by the other players
100%.
and stuff. And I'm always like, what is it about it? Like it's just and like the opposite of Jimmy Garoppolo. I've heard that everybody loves him, right? Like
Matt Ryan is another one where they're like the guy is like the nicest human on the planet.
Is it just being nice? Or is it like
maybe they don't like to hang out,
like a D? Yeah, but it's like
they keep to themselves. A lot of people will brand you an a-hole if you're an introvert or just keep to yourself.
I've gotten that before when people meet me and I'm not in a talkative mood.
Yeah, they'll say you're an a-hole.
Like let's say beginning of COVID, we had COVID going on. My mom passed away. Lots of bad stuff going on. I'm a little more quiet, right? I'm not chirping it up to everybody. And then I had a few people that are like, would even mention Andrea, like, about
what's his deal?
Yeah, and I'd be like, well, I'm just kind of,
Isn't that crazy? You're not even being outwardly mean to someone, but if you just
less
stay to yourself,
less
it's
than
like,
normal.
whoa,
Sure.
they're a jerk.
I think I do that with you guys. No, I mean, like, I think I harmlessly do it with you guys. I'm not going to say you're a jerk, but I'll be like, what's wrong? I think I do that if you don't come in, like, kind of how I think you're going to come. I don't know. That's not fair, but it's,
Well, you're putting your own emotion.
You're projecting it on there.
But it's like, what are these people doing that makes them so unlike? I guess, it's just like every personality. Some people are just not likable people. But it's weird to me because I'm like, you're an adult. Everybody's this is a professional job, a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, who cares if you don't like this guy?
I don't get that either.
Why does that matter?
Then
but I guess it still does, I guess.
Then there are guys that I'm obsessed with that people want to be on the team for no other reason but their energy. Heredia on the Atlanta Braves.
Team
It's the,
morale,
It's
I
the
guess,
guy we
right?
remember the guy we talked about where all he does is
Yeah.
he yells and screams and he has the pink swords, and when people hit a home run, he slices the swords and he dances around and he's hey Jingle! And he screams loud like that guy.
Yeah.
That's all he does. Now, I will say that when we need him on the Braves, they'll put him in the lineup, and then he'll play great. Like he'll hit a home run or he'll make a great field, so he can back it up, right? Those are the people that I admire the most. It's like, I know why you're here. You're here to pump up everybody else, but when push comes to shove, you are an actual good player. Like your value is there. We're probably getting him for more of a value, I would imagine. Because what he does, I think, in rallying everybody else is even more important than the fact that he is a decent baseball player. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's value to that. And if the coach is like, well, the difference between him and maybe a better player.
Oh, there's tons of better players.
But it's minuscule, and there's more value into the locker room.
He's a personality. He's always like pumping everybody
the team
up
together
or
whatever.
Like as soon as one of the guys does a good play, he'll be the first one screaming from the dugout. And then the crowd can hear it, and then the whole crowd gets into it. He's slashing the swords, and then people start high fiving, and it kind of.
But baseball's weird.
Baseball is so weird
in the fact that there is a lot of just hanging out in the dugout with then for like other sports there's so many people on the sidelines. It seems like some people never even see some of the people, you know what I'm saying? There's
right.
so many people, and then everybody keeps to themselves and is in their own little area, and then you got so many different coaches, and it's just way more personnel. So baseball's weird in the fact that it's like small dugout, everybody's there, and watching.
Here's the best part about baseball for me is that there's the likelihood of a ball going off a bat and into the dugout and hitting somebody in there and killing them. That's pretty crazy. Saw that the other night. The manager of the Braves, Snitker, is a dumb old man. He's just standing there. He's a little old man. I mean, the ball came, centimeters from killing him.
They keep me rocketing into the dugout.
Seeing right by his head. And if it had hit him square, that's a dead old man. Man, he's dead as dead. But he's a real man. So the next night he gets back out there. Hey, I'm fine. All good. No big deal.
Surprised more people aren't killed by baseball
on
the field.
Half the fun is watching the balls go into the crowd, home runs, and then just hit unsuspecting people eating food, and it just kills them. It's so fun to watch.
All right. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some voicemails.
All right, buddy. Again, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail message, super easy to do. 2 ways to do it. We have a vanity number, because I don't know, we like losing money. 1-844-TOM and Dan. That's 1-844-TOMNDAN. Call that number, leave us a voicemail message. I will get it and slap it into the folder.
Or if you text BDM, just the letters BDM to that number, you could be a part of our texting service. It'll auto-text you back and ask you if you want to enroll. And once you enroll, we'll send you some text anytime we have like a new piece of merch or some sort of offer or an event. You'll just be one of the first people to know about it. So if
Sam's making fun of you in the chat room. I have to call her
out.
It's funny because you said a Texan service. Like it's for Texans, like people from Texas. Texting, yeah. You did say Texan. I heard it too.
Okay.
You are becoming my dad. You are becoming my dad. As my dad aged, he started. You're getting more Southern. You're getting very Virginia-ish.
It's Southern pop.
Yeah, it's like, we got a Texan service. That's very my dad. Texan service?
I don't know why that's happening because I grew up in Miami. I should eventually just evolve.
A Texan service.
Evolve into speaking Spanish. I shouldn't get more Southern.
You are.
You've been too far removed from Miami.
I like Texan.
Too long.
Texan service sounds
good.
good.
I lived in Orlando, though. Like, Orlando's not the South either.
No, but... Yeah.
It really starts with the Panhandle. I noticed that from my RV trip. I was like... Till you get up into the Panhandle in Georgia, basically Florida's not the South at all.
A lot of Texans in Castleberry, though. A lot of them. A lot of Four Rivers. Texas barbecue. Let's try this voicemail message. How do both of you, Samantha and Tom, how do you guys feel about let's go?
It's nothing to me.
I think it's lost its meaning because, like I said, to me, it started with making an incredible trick shot.
Do you remember me saying I thought it started with Brady?
Mm-hmm.
I think Sam remembers that. We had a listener call in, and he weighed in.
Hey, mediocre message. The let's go thing, Dan's on it. Pretty sure we can attribute that to New England Patriots Tom Brady. You can look it up multiple times. I mean, the let's go. You guys might have a different opinion. Other people will probably have a different opinion. For me, it is ridiculous now. They all say it. My daughter says it. Let's go. Telling you, Tom Brady running down the tunnel, out into the field. Julian Edelman sprinting 100 yards for no reason before the game at the end, pumping the fist. Let's go! Lots of championships. Powerful saying. Pretty sure that's where that came from. The kids have been slow.
He went a little Trumpy there. He's like, lots of championships. Powerful saying. The most powerful saying.
No way.
I think it was
Tom
Brady.
Brady
That's where I
didn't
got it
start
from. When I saw I was gonna say I saw Let's Brady. I saw Tom Brady. He was like the first person that I saw,
Say,
and
"Let's
also
go."
Gronk. I saw Gronk say it,
Yeah.
and they're getting pumped up. And let's go! It's like let's go, and I hate it, and that's why I say it.
You know what I noticed over the weekend is I feel like the let's go is more of like the male thing. And then on every goddamn TikTok, no matter what people are talking about, if it's a female, it's let's get into it. And it's like, oh, God, stop with the let's get into it.
Yeah. But the biggest.
Everybody.
Well, it's also, I don't want to, like.
Whether they're talking about fashion, whether they're giving you a tutorial, whether they're giving you gossip, whether it's a conspiracy theory,
Let's
it's all
get
let's get into it.
Okay.
I don't like.
Let's get rid of that one too.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Because I don't want to get into it.
I want to stay out of it.
I've been trying to get out of everything.
Yeah. The let's go is like, all right, we're going.
I don't like the let's go. It's
Hyping you up.
overused. And
It is overused.
And I hate it. And if it's a Brady thing, then you got to let Brady have it.
My whole thing is,
Let's go!
you should scream it when you've accomplished something, or you've won, or
That's
you
not
made
when
a
it's
trick
used.
shot.
I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. It was used last
Like,
night.
You can't scream it before it even starts.
Are your sons still watching America's Funniest Home Videos with Alfonso Ribeiro?
They watch it occasionally. They've dropped off.
We
though.
had it on last night. Maisie too dropped off, but we had it on last night. We're watching, and there was one of the videos that was in contention for winning the $10,000 grand prize. Was a video of a girl who gave her brother a let's just say a sports team shirt. And then underneath that shirt was a onesie of the same sports team. It was her way of letting her brother know that she was with child, that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
But when he opened it and he pulled out the onesie, he thought the onesie was for their pet cat. And when he pulled it out, he goes, "Oh, this is for Jerry. Let's go!" Like that. And I go, "Oh my God, it's there! Let's go! He did the let's go!" And I screamed and I'm yelling at the TV. And it is as mainstream as anything, man.
I know.
Like it is the most used, exclamation. Like, give me one that's more hip than "Let's go."
I feel like though it's nerdy white guys.
Yes.
Have
I hate it.
grabbed the
I feel
hold
like
of it more
Mr.
than
Beast
the-
would say "Let's go."
Yo, yeah,
Apparently,
yeah.
it's the official exclamation choice of MLB celebrations. Let's go. There's a whole article on Sportsnet about that.
But is it copywritten? Like who
That's what I'm
came
trying
up
to
with
find.
it?
Well, when
In the interview,
guy may
the
be
person
right.
asked where did the phrase come from and how long has it been around? And I don't know how to say this guy's name, but Bo Bichette.
Oh, Boba Fett, yeah.
He said
He
I've
played
heard
for the Blue
He
Jays,
said I've
right?
heard it my whole life. It's got to be since I was a young kid. So they're saying that they heard it the entire time growing up as they were kids.
I mean, that's
playing it.
possible.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not some sort of weirdo, rare saying.
Right.
You know,
His
like,
name
it's just
it's
let's
not
go.
It's not
with a-
Boba Fett like Boba Fett. It's Bo Bichette.
Correct. Yes.
But
I'm helping the chat room. But if that guy doesn't wear a baseball-inspired Boba Fett costume,
That'd be pretty cool.
he's crazy. And by the way, Butler has a full-functioning Boba Fett costume that I think he wore in town when what's that thing? That
MegaCon?
Yeah, MegaCon. He
Right.
wore it finally.
But Brady may have popularized it in
I
the
think
fact
he
that more people are watching a Super Bowl. and Brady screaming "Let's go," and then they're going to copy him, right? So it may be a thing that's been in sports forever, but because
Jim Edmonds, who's a retired player, says, "My son's 14. It's let's go for everything." And I'm like, let's get a better catchphrase that fits offense and defense. But now I get it. Good for them. I think it's exciting. Everyone's been saying let's go for years, but it seems like it's more of a battle cry now.
Because the internet and social media and then everybody screaming it on every trick shot, video, and then everything else. So the internet was probably what made it the most popular.
I agree. Let's
go.
Yeah, we did. Let's go. Let's try. On the Friday Free Show, we did the little mobile segment because we lost power here at the studio.
Yeah.
And you told a very sad story about one of your sons. I won't recap it.
Sad?
Oh,
Yeah.
you got to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, it was
broke my heart for
it
Max.
was- You
Not
broke my
sad.
heart for poor little Max. But here is a voicemail talking about what we were talking about on the Friday Free Show.
I'm listening to the Friday Free Show and Tom talk about swim practice, and I just couldn't help but think of this, Tom.
And we'll recap. I guess Max was upset that he didn't feel like you were paying attention to his swim practices.
Well, he said, again, I believe he said it in front of my wife so that he knew that his mom was going to yell at me. But
Well, why does he hate you so much? To
So you
do
feel
that?
like
Well, me and Max, we have this, like
a little bit of a battle?
well, we,
A little
like,
competitiveness?
he always punching me full strength, and then I'm like, but we
Because we're like brothers. Oh my god.
well, we
They're competitive.
We
Yeah.
fight
He's
around.
gonna
or-
be the
Sibling
one.
He's the
rivalry.
one that cares about competitiveness. Tommy doesn't care about any
Is
of that.
Max
He's
going to
more
be the one that
sweet.
beat you up like Ric Flair?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. He'll body slam me into the roots. Yeah. We already know. I tell him, I'm like, one day you'll body slam me into the roots.
Ah, it'll hurt your back.
But I'm like, not today. And then I'll hold him down. I'm like, I'll always be stronger. There's
yeah.
it's a father-son rivalry.
I'm already weaker than Maisie. She was holding me down last night. I was like, get off of me. Let me go.
For you.
I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man. When you come in the arena and you see me play, don't you? You see me give everything I got, right? But we talking about practice right now.
What was that from?
What is it
I
from?
don't know. He said he pulled that clip and he played that. He said that was for you. It sounded like a famous player, like I don't know.
I wonder what-
OBJ,
Allen
somebody?
Iverson.
Oh, Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson's legendary practice rant.
What was it about, though?
Was he about like I don't need to practice
I
because
guess.
I'm good? There are guys like that that are like, look, I'm gonna give my all here. I don't need to be at this. There are guys like that.
Yeah. But I think
I don't believe in that.
Well, also, it's been proven that it does help, and you need it. Everybody does.
Yeah.
That's how the best become the
It
best.
also
is they
doesn't
do it
help you
more.
build a team by opting out of things to do.
Well,
That doesn't really build cohesion.
But my whole thing was when parents go and to their kids' practices, they take them there, and then while they're practicing, how intently are the parents watching their kids practice?
They're not.
Yeah. That's why, it's like now. Then I'll tell this on the BDM show this week, but they had a swim meet, and I'm not on my phone at all. I'm watching and I'm showing the other kids, even though that they're not my kids, the other kids that are swimming, I'm showing them the respect of not being on my phone. I'm watching them too. You know what I'm saying? But practice, like Allen
I did that
Iverson
for
says,
the-
in practice.
I did that for the first couple dance recitals, and then now that I'm old hat, I don't watch any of the other dances. I only watch Maisie. The other ones I'm on my phone playing video games. So then I'll leave in the middle of another dance. I'm like, I got to get out of here.
And like I said on the Friday Free Show, that day during practice, I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'll watch you the whole time. And he never looked up one time. I'm like, look
Well,
up.
that was to get you back for not watching
I
him in
know,
the past.
it must have been. That's why we have a rivalry.
Weird.
It is weird.
Slam dunked me into the roots.
Let's try this one about an old man moment.
I just had my first for real old man moment. I am 29 years old. I feel like an old man, but this made me really feel like an old man. I was at Home Depot, and I have some cash on me. I don't usually have cash, and so I figured, what the hell, I'll just buy my Home Depot stuff with cash. And our Home Depot is all self-checkout. And so I go to the self-checkout. It has an option to pay for cash. I push the cash button, and then I proceed to try and stick my $20 bill into what I think is the cash go-in place. And I probably spent a minute straight trying to get it in there right. And I'm like going down to my knees and like looking into it and figuring out why I can't get it to take my $20 bill, when the little Home Depot girl had to come over to me and explain that I was trying to put the $20 bill in the place where cash back comes out of, and that this machine is card only. And I immediately got embarrassed, felt the oldest I've ever felt, wanted to kill myself there in Home Depot. Oh my God.
Come on, man.
And walked away sadly.
No.
I'm officially an old man now.
No. I'm going to come to your defense for a second. If you selected cash, then there should have been a place for you to put cash. So where was the? I would claim we need a follow up on this. Where was the actual place you put your cash in?
A lot of those machines, there are a certain amount that are credit card only. I've noticed.
Yeah, but it should have allowed him to choose cash.
Yeah, well, it probably didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And
Maybe
then
he
he
lied
just
to us.
assumed that he could pay cash through the cashback, whatever. Although
Old men hate the card only. There are old men that will wage war. Like I think Glass Knife, which is a dessert restaurant here in town, they're card only. I think
Gringos is now.
Gringos, Kelly's Ice Cream. I love me some
A lot
Kelly's.
of places
Yeah.
are.
It's card
Especially
only.
after once the pandemic started.
Oh,
and
they got
people don't want to pass around dirty cash.
And just people get so mad. They're like, well, I have cash on me. You'll take it. No, we won't. You can leave.
yeah,
You can write up your A. Get out of here with that.
I never carry cash with me.
Me neither.
To the point where when we were on our RV trip, we drove to the spring.
Oh, you went to the state parks, didn't have cash.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You guys planned. You knew you were going.
Yeah,
Why
I
didn't you
would've-
get cash beforehand?
I was just sitting here thinking I would have forgotten that too. That's
Well-
only Andrea remembers stuff like that.
Because a lot of state parks and even the Blue Springs where I park my boat, and there's like boat parking, and then you go in, there's like there used to be a box, and I think there still is, where it's like a
donation box.
well, not a donation. But you have to. You're supposed to, put the money into the little box if you park there. And what is it called when it's
honor system.
honor system?
Yeah.
It's an
Right.
honor
The
system.
fact that you
There's
don't know what honor system is tells a lot. Yeah, I'm like, hold on a second. This mother ever don't know what the
It's
honor
supposed to
system
be, what's
is.
that thing?
Yeah. Hold on. What is that thing
When
you
you're
do when
a good person.
Yeah, it's
And-
manners. Manners. Is that what it's called?
And it wasn't about the $4 or whatever. It was about the fact that I didn't have $4, so I wasn't gonna get back.
And
be
I
like,
guess
well,
you can't go to the park.
Well, no, I would just go there. I would just be like, well, I don't have the $4. You have to upgrade your
What other
technology.
things were in there? Like chewing gum, use condom,
I
piece
don't
of
know.
paper with something horrible written on it.
I'm guessing nobody would. I mean, or if they
It's-
didn't have money.
It's like the same little metal box they used to have over at Winn-Dixie's and Publix when they had the Brock's candy aisle, and you could like grab a handful of candies, and then you're supposed to put coins in the little
Oh,
box.
yeah.
No one ever did that.
Yeah. And they finally upgraded to, they have a sign now that is like, you go on the website, you just pay in your credit card or whatever.
that's cool.
And then so I assumed
Smart.
that other like state parks.
Is that
or
honor
whatever-
system too?
I showed up at this.
Of course, yeah.
Digital honor system.
Yeah. But I'd pay that because it wasn't
Yeah.
about. I wanted to pay.
I
I can't. Like, I'm not gonna leave and just be like, nope, no fun today.
Can you prepay? Can I give him $20 now? And that's like 20.
Yeah.
20
Yeah,
goes.
I think that's fine.
Well,
Okay.
The state park, I showed up, and then the teen at the little gazebo was like, $6, please. And then I'm like,
please.
do you have any? Can you take credit card? They're like, nope. And then I had to drive all the way. I mean, the gas station. This is up in Mariana, Florida. There's nothing, right? There's like the gas station was 2 miles. I had to
17
drive
miles away.
2 miles down to the Chevron to get
That's
$20.
That's a 25-minute
2
drive.
miles. Yeah, it was hard. And then just to get cash, and I was like, just get a square. Dude, so like, how this has to happen at least once a day. Dude,
Oh, yeah.
get one.
When are they?
It's not that hard.
When are they going to allow us to print our own money?
What do you mean?
Like, I want a device where they're like, no card, sir. And then I press a button on my phone and a little receipt comes out. It's like, here, I printed you.
Okay,
From my phone, I printed it. Look, and you can check it. It's got the right codes on it, everything. You look it up. It's real.
What's it like? Get a Cash App or whatever, like some sort of digital, like
Right.
it's free.
Get a QR code, yeah.
Like the state park, just get that. It seems like you'd be making money at this because people will turn around and then never come back, right? Because they don't have to drive to the, Anyway, all right, bye-bye.